Alright, so today we've got a bit of a different video. It'll be like two videos in one. There's a little bit of news I want to go over and a question I want to answer while clarifying a statement I made last week. And rather than splitting everything up into 2 or 3 videos to milk things out, we'll just cram everything into today's video. And I've got a bit to talk about. As always, if you do watch these videos on a somewhat regular basis, you should consider subbing to the channel and leaving a like on the video, as it really helps me out. Now more than ever, because of YouTube's antics that I won't talk about in this video, but I laid it all out on my Twitter yesterday. Now with that out of the way, let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Alright, so let's start things off with a little bit of news. As we went over a little over a week ago, tomorrow we've got a lot going down in For Honor. There's the event, Twitch drops, and then this next title update that we haven't received any sort of info on yet, so it's all going to be a surprise. Now, we were all wondering what the event was going to be, but it turns out that it's exactly what we thought it would be. It's this year's Halloween event, and this year it's called Monsters of the Otherworld. I know all the people who have been asking for a Scythe hero these past few years are all panting right now. It'll be going on from October 22nd to November 12th, so 3 weeks, and we've got some stuff to work for and play with. We've got 2 game modes to play this year. Endless March, which we've played before. It's a variant of Dominion, where the minions are replaced with these strong skeletons. And we'll be playing this mode until November 5th. After that, we'll be playing something called Spooky Slashers, which is a game mode where you need to capture zones to gain special buffs, which will then be used to fight off frightening demons lurking throughout the map. Dying, of course, makes you lose your buffs, and that mode will go on from the 5th until the 12th. And by that time, we'll officially be in next-gen territory, as both the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 will be released by then. As for the stuff we'll be earning and spending our steel on, we'll be able to earn the loot from the previous 3 Halloween events throughout specific dates, and on top of that, there are of course some random things that'll drop throughout the event, including battle outfits and a new effect. There will be stuff to buy too. This year, the finishers and effects will be inspired by Frankenstein, and it looks like we'll be able to buy previous year's stuff too. So we've got that tomorrow, and as I said a little earlier, we've also got a title update that is going to drop alongside the event. We have no idea what's going to be in it. The only thing we've got to go on is that a few weeks ago on the Warriors Den, Michael said that things were going to go down. That could literally mean anything, but I'm hoping that there's something in there that really spices the game up, like changes to feats or renown. But if I had to take a guess, it'll probably be stuff that has to do with helping a few heroes out after the core combat update. But we'll just have to wait until tomorrow to find out. Okay, so next up is something that one of you guys sent me a few days ago, and I actually cannot find who sent it to me, but it's about continued support. It seems like for the past 2 years around Halloween time, we talk about this subject again because we never know if this will be the last year of support or not. Anyways, a lot of people have been concerned about the future of For Honor, especially this year, as the world has been, put on hold, things take longer to release, there have been delays, yada yada. And with For Honor, we've seen how the game has been affected, And with only 2 heroes releasing this year instead of 6 like in year 1, 4 with the Wu Lin and 4 with the Year of the Harbinger, people have been feeling like this is it, it's over after this. But with the announcement that the game is being improved upon for the next console generation, it's starting to look like the game, will be supported into 2021. Anyways, someone pointed out that on the Steam community discussions, there was a thread discussing something For Honor related, and eventually someone said that they don't believe the game will be supported for the year 2021 because the new consoles and whatnot, which makes no sense. And Ubi Yubble, one of the community representatives at Ubisoft for Rainbow Six and For Honor, came out and said that the game will be supported into the new year, which we kind of expected, but it's sort of nice to hear and see, some sort of confirmation. Of course, take this with a grain of salt until things are confirmed, straight from a For Honor account. Now, with that out of the way, not too long ago, Ubisoft announced Ubi Connect, which is basically Uplay 2.0, but they confirmed something we've been talking about when it comes to Ubisoft titles for a while now. Crossplay and cross-gen is something they've officially announced today. Instead of cross-gen, they're calling it cross-progression, which basically allows you to carry your saved data from one platform to another by linking your Ubisoft account to your other accounts. On their FAQ page, it says this will allow progression to be retained for most Ubisoft titles, but not all. And for right now, we don't know what games this will support. It just says select titles for right now. Same thing with crossplay, but we all know what that is anyway. Now, even with this announcement and given what we know, it's looking like for right now, For Honor is still going to stick with cross-gen between console families. So PS4 to PS5 and Xbox One to Xbox Series S. Could this change sometime in the future? Maybe, maybe not. But I really wanted to get ahead of this before the comments started rolling in. Now, that's pretty much all of the newsy stuff that I wanted to talk about. We'll have more tomorrow, as I just looked over to my left and saw that there will be a Warriors Den live stream tomorrow as well, which is always a treat. I'm sure it'll be about, Halloween stuff, but be sure to check back in tomorrow for that, as I love watching those with you guys. Now on to the last thing I wanted to talk about. Someone sent in a question and I figured I'd use it to clarify a few things and talk about it for a little bit, as I didn't really expand on my thoughts the first time. ColdFox1217 says, first off, like your videos. Thanks, ColdFox. Secondly, what sort of direction do you think For Honor console is going now that we'll have 60 FPS at a later date? While I know it won't help us console players that much, I just wanted to hear your opinion on it. So I have to say this because some people didn't really read the statement or listen very closely, but 60 FPS is only going to be for the next gen consoles. 60 FPS is not coming to the current gen consoles. It's not coming to the Xbox One or the PS4. Anyways, the bump to 60 FPS on the next gen consoles isn't going to make the game feel like this entirely new experience. It's still going to feel like For Honor, but prettier and more fluid. What we really have to wait and see is whether or not consoles' other issues are addressed, and if the various delays and whatnot will be reduced. If so, the game is going to feel a lot better. And as I said, I'll be playing on console if that's the case. Now, I doubt we're going to see anything like an FOV slider or anything like that, so the camera will still be very close to your hero, but I'd accept that if the game just feels good and somewhat similar to PC in terms of responsiveness. If that is the case, the console and PC gap will be closer together, and maybe those that truly hate the CCU because of the way it feels on current gen might end up liking it or enjoying it more. Now, Ubi never came out and told us exactly how matchmaking is going to work next month when the new consoles release, but I was under the impression that the console families would still be grouped together because the game is backwards compatible. So I was just assuming that Xbox One players would play with Xbox Series S players, and PlayStation 4 players would play with PlayStation 5 players. A few people took my assumption as fact when I was covering the news, even though I said it was speculation, but I apologize for the mix-up. Right now, we don't know. Now, I'm personally hoping this is the case. A lot of you guys were concerned that if the new consoles do turn out to feel, superior to the current consoles, then yes, they'll have an advantage. Not as much as before the Core Combat update, but still an advantage. Now, the reason I hope they play together is if they're separated, how many people are actually going to be playing For Honor on the next gen consoles? Not only will there be, entirely new titles to play instead, how many people that still play For Honor today will actually get their hands on a new console within the first few months or even year? I think there are, a lot of people that are just banking on the idea that they'll be able to easily get their hands on a new console when they release, or be able to just waltz into any store, walk in, and buy one within the first few weeks or even first few months. Over time, I wouldn't be so concerned about how many people would take the time to play, but I'd imagine there wouldn't be too many people playing, at least at the start. I could be totally wrong about this because there won't really be too many brand new games to play on the consoles when they release, but it is something that's been running through my mind. But as I said, it is backwards compatible, so I believe the console families will be playing together. Anyways, that's all I've got for this video. I hope it was somewhat helpful for you, at least the news part. If it was, again, I'd really appreciate a like on the video, as it will help me out now more than ever. Be on the lookout for a video tomorrow as well, since I plan on covering everything that'll be included in the title update that will be dropping tomorrow alongside the Halloween stuff, as well as a live stream tomorrow around the time that the Warriors Den normally begins. As always, I do want to know what you guys think, so be sure to talk to me down in the comments about anything we talked about in this video. And as always, if you like the video, feel free to leave a like and sub if you're new, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.